Good evening, and thanks once again for joining us here on Speed Racing Network. Night number 2 here at Iowa Speedway. Got a little bit of a sneak peek into the practice session and some familiar faces up at the front here, but some newcomers that we might see crash the party here tonight, Brandon. Fixing to be a really good race here tonight.
Absolutely. It's our one short track here this season, our official short track. I know there's the debate about Dover and Phoenix. This is the one short track of the season out here for the Truck Series. 7/8 mile track. Going to really kind of throw a wrench into things when it comes to some of these guys trying to clinch a playoff spot. Maybe jump into those playoff spots after this week, as we only got one race left after we leave Iowa. We stay in the Midwest, head to Kansas, but it all gets set up here tonight.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of people really looking forward to Kansas, and you can't really put all your eggs into that basket. You really got to set yourself up to clinch next week with a good run here tonight. We saw some drivers do that last night in the Cup Series race. Much bigger field here tonight in the Truck Series. Looking like we've got about 37, 38 trucks out there tonight, Brandon. So it is going to be action-packed all the way around this 7/8 mile oval in Newton, Iowa. So let's get right to it. Check out the Speed Racing Network point standings here in the SRN Truck Series. And Ryan Johnson up at the top still with 3 wins to his name. He is in the green, 121 points to the good. Brad Herman sitting here in second, but Lane Doyle has quietly been sitting here in third and has just kind of been coasting along here lately, not having the finishes that he's wanted. 1 top 10 in the last 4 races and only 1 finish out of a top 10 in the first 7 races this season, and hasn't led a lap since week 3, Brandon, but he's in the green, he's in the playoffs. It's time to reset and reset that focus as well.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of drivers out there that wish that a slow start or a slow run of 4 races was exactly what Lane has right now, as he's still sitting in the 3rd position. A handful of guys have the ability to clinch tonight. Looking at Trevor Williams, Blair Holloman, Landon Cardulo, Michael Madden could, if he has a absolute perfect night, he would be able to find himself clinching in as well tonight. But for everybody else, from Jonathan Byer on down, pressure still on those drivers to try to stay in the top 15 or possibly move up into the top 15, as you're only looking at 9 points separating Rob Yost Jr., who's currently the first one out, to the first driver in, the man who got his first win last week, Bobby Anderson.
Well, you mentioned Jonathan Byer, 3 straight races finishing outside of the top 10. He was 23rd at Las Vegas, 26th at Auto Club, and 14th at Dover. And we kind of talked about it earlier, and he's just not been as around up towards the front here lately, and been in a little bit of bad luck here too. So maybe he turns that around as we're coming to maybe some of his more preferred tracks on the schedule, really filling it up with the 1.5 mile. Seems that's his kind of track, and he's going to have a few of those in the coming weeks. So we'll see if Byer can make a charge.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really, to me, the big surprise of this truck season right now, is that we haven't seen Byer not even just pick up a win, but there's just only been a couple of times where he's really been in contention for him. And one thing that is true here, too, is, he's graduating college here in the next little bit, if he hasn't already just done that. A lot of things going on in his life, so there's always those distractions, a lot of pressures out there. Maybe just taking a little bit of that focus away, completely understandable. A little bit of a slower season here, but plenty of time to still turn it around with the playoffs resetting everything.
Yeah, before we take a look at the rest of the field that is still trying to get in, I want to go ahead and give a shout-out to Andrew, or actually Nick Halda as well. He's seeking back-to-back top 8 finishes for the first time this season, and that would come at a clutch time, seeing that he's sitting there in 11th, 29 points to the good. And Brandon, one of the drivers that we've seen falling through the field here of recent is that guy in 14th place, Jose Castellanos. Only 1 top 10 in the last 7 starts, that being a 6th place run at Dover. He has speed every week, but bad luck seeming to show up here lately.
Yeah, it's been a cold run there for Jose, and it's really unfortunate. He was up there in the top 5 in points for quite a bit there early on in the season, but the past couple of months, it has just been ice cold for him. But what we saw last night, Emerson Ardon was in a very similar position to Jose. He picked up a third-place finish last night, really solidified himself into that playoff field. Still a little bit of work to do there for Emerson. I think Jose could do the same thing, as he was very fast in practice.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So taking a look at the cut line, Bobby Anderson sitting there 9 points to the good. Last week's win was his first top 10 since Motegi week 5. And now Rob Yost finds himself behind that cut line, 9 points here in the next 2 weeks. Going to be the gap and see if he can make that gap up. But Daniel Park, Jacob Zala, Nathan Nixon, as well as Troy Techmeyer are going to round out the top 20. And I would probably cut it off right around Jason Crackey as the guys that have a realistic shot at still crashing the playoffs. Sean Kozier, maybe Josh Mueller, Dean Gagliano, Austin Purnell. That gap growing here lately and might be really hard to make up with as many trucks as we have here in the Truck Series.
Yeah, and having a full field of almost 40, it does give you the opportunity to pick up more points. The good thing for these drivers is that gap is pretty heavy from 15th down to 17th, so there's not a whole lot of guys that you have to pass. So you're not having to hope that other drivers have a whole lot of bad luck out there on the racetrack, just a couple of them, and you have to have a great run. So there is some hope there, but they're going to have to string together some incredible finishes.
Well, we got off on a tangent there talking about all the storylines here in the Truck Series, but let's go ahead take a look at the team championship standings in this Truck Series. JW Racing at the top with the 162-point gap. Pretty sure JW Racing has clinched that number 1 overall seed. So there you got Dark Tank, Zuyost still in kind of a battle there for second. Rat Pack hanging on there in third with 5th place Jonathan Byer really close behind. These seeds are not solidified at all with 2 weeks remaining before this team championship playoff.
Yeah, we're really to the point that it's down to that 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and who's going to face each other there in that 4-5 matchup, and then who's going to wind up getting striker in the 6th position. I think at this point it's going to take a whole lot for any of the other teams to really move into any different seeding position.
And the thing with the Truck Series teams too, and a kind of a shout out to all of them, each one of these teams has a pretty healthy roster. So a lot of guys able to score points. It's going to be an exciting team championship playoff once we get down to it in 2 weeks' time. So about a minute and a half before we get out there on the track, want to go ahead and give our sponsors their due here as always because we appreciate them here on Speed Racing Network. Silverback Tax Solutions coming on board this season to sponsor the Green Flag. So go ahead, check them out if you have any issues with the IRS at silverbacktacks.com. Go ahead, check out Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. While you're at it, go find them on Facebook. They can get you set up with whatever you need to get that car looking just right, or a boat, or whatever you want to clean. Butt Kicker coming on board this year to do the Hard Charger Award. They're going to hand out a Butt Kicker Gamer 2 to each of the series champion in the Hard Charger standings. We'll check those out here shortly. And TJ's Team Foundation at morethanAcape.org coming on board this year to sponsor the winning moment. And man, they're just a really great foundation that helps out families that are battling with pediatric cancer.
Yeah, they do so much good, and it's, if you're able to do any kind of donation, it goes a long, long way, even if it feels like it's not a whole lot. Every little bit does go towards putting, a payment on a bill or trying to take care of any kind of unforeseen payments that come up in the process for these families. Just little things that really take the weight off the family's shoulders while they're trying to support a child going through one of the worst things you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, so go ahead, check them out, morethanAcape.org. Once again, everything you could possibly want to know is on their website. Very, very user-friendly. So looking like practice and qualifying all wrapped up out there. Let's go ahead and get out to the track here in Newton, Iowa. A great race last night in the Cup Series, one that we saw stay particularly green out here at Iowa Speedway. You thinking we're seeing the same thing tonight with a kind of much bigger field out here? 38 trucks going to grid up.
And that's going to be the real kind of wrench into the plans on this one. We saw a little under 30 cars last night, seeing almost a full field of 40 tonight. So a whole lot more traffic out there. Track a little bit hotter. Saw a lot of these trucks really sliding around in practice, and that might, hopefully not, but that might be a little foreshadowing of what we see here this afternoon.
So let's go ahead, check out the starting lineup and the two names that we saw in that pre-race practice session that kicked off our stream here tonight. Ryan Johnson, Lane Doyle on the front row, but it was flipped. Lane Doyle was fastest in practice. Ryan Johnson, though, putting up the quickest time of a 23.509. Sean Jensick and Bobby Anderson, two drivers needing a good run here tonight, sitting in row number 2.
In row number 3, it's going to be Landon Cardulo, one of the drivers that is able to clinch a playoff spot here tonight. He'll be starting in position number 5. Jacob Zala trying to find his way into the top 15. He will be in position number 6. Row 4, we'll see Blair Holloman, another one of the potential playoff clinching drivers tonight on the inside. Outside row 4 will be Dean Gagliano.
And then we got Jonathan Byer starting inside row 5, P9 tonight. And then Ben Park rounding out the top 10. He is going to be putting on a heck of a show tonight for Dark Tank Racing. I think we're going to be keeping an eye on this 8 truck. Andrew Harris and Jose Castellanos going to round out our top 12. So looking like they are gridding up, starting to pull out there on the track. Let's go ahead and get down there to the track. And Brandon, who are you picking tonight?
You know what? This one was actually a tough one just because we don't have many short track out there to go really for some research. But there's a driver that a little bit of a rough race last week after a hot streak. I think he gets right back to it. Possible playoff clinching driver in that 13 truck starting in position number 5. I'm going to go with Landon Cardulo tonight. Fast in practice. I think he knows he has an opportunity to lock up a spot, and he's going to be gunning for it.
I like it. Good pick out there. I kind of dove right into my pick here tonight. Andrew Harris, he's going to be starting in row number 6 in that 87 truck. I think he gets it going here tonight and gets his first win of the season where he's going to be needing it. Makes a good run here later on in the season to get in position to possibly clinch a spot in the playoffs, but can actually do so tonight with a win. We'll see if he can get it done and help his cause towards making a run at that championship here in Season 3. So there you see your race admins tonight. Going to be Dave Fuge Jr. and Corey Saucier here for your Truck Series race. And a couple extra laps to pace around. Being a short track, got to get everybody gridded up real quick out here.
Yeah, they're going to do 2 pace laps as opposed to the usual one that we're used to on iRacing and SRN for most every racetrack. I think everything from a mile up is just that single pace lap unless it's extended. We got the 2 here. Pace car ready to dive off down pit road and everybody ready to go with an all-JW front row.
Yeah, so we'll see Ryan Johnson, Lane Doyle kick this thing off and get us started for 140 laps here tonight. Going to be some hungry drivers out there with 2 races to decide who is going to be battling with that top 15. So the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving, and it's time to get things started here at Iowa.
I see a lot of separation in the second half of that field. I think there was a little bit of a checkup there on that original start that really spread out. You could see all those trucks way back already, and hopefully that doesn't set them up to be possibly put a lap down here early on in the going as Ryan Johnson digging with a third of a second lead over his teammate and Bobby Anderson now to the inside in second. But that 48 looking like it's on rails on this opening lap.
Yes, we saw last week's winner, Bobby Anderson, make the pass to the inside of Lane Doyle, and we saw it yesterday, seeming like this is a really good 2-lane, maybe even 3-lane racetrack. You can really race all over this surface and make passes in whichever turn. So Bobby Anderson really proving just that. As you can see, they're running 2 significantly different lines. Bobby Anderson, though, right now looking to be the faster of the 2.
Yeah, he really got out in front of Lane Doyle and really just pulled up to that tailgate of the 48. You can see him just inches apart right now. And for Bobby Anderson, that momentum from finally getting that first SRN win a week ago in Las Vegas might be carrying a whole lot of weight right now, because that 18 truck on fire last week, and he's trying to make that move to the inside to take the lead once again.
Yeah, it only builds that thirst for more once you feel the thrill of finally getting a win here in SRN. And Bobby getting that taste last week and wants a little more this week as he's battling to the inside of Ryan Johnson here early on. Great racing throughout the field. Let's go ahead and check out what else is going on. This is Jonathan Byer to the outside of Dean Gagliano here. Byer started 9th place tonight. Move him up to 8th now with that pass. So maybe seeing a good run out of this 66 tonight. We'll keep an eye on his progress further on through. This is Brad Herman making the pass on Ben Park here for 11th position.
Yeah, Brad Herman moving his way through the field as well. Started in 14th, now 11th, so +3 on his part as well. As a couple of guys moving through the field. Also noting Trevor Williams sitting in the 21st position. He's already gained 8 spots in the first 5 laps.
Yeah, so Trevor Williams making quick moves here early on as he's up to 21st now. Right behind him, too, Joseph DuPont. He's up 11 here. So these two drivers figured it out. Maybe Joseph taking a few notes and coming up through the field with a proven winner already here this season. Both of these guys making a hard charge to the front here early on.
Speaking of the front, now got Bobby Anderson looking to take the race lead, and does, coming out of turn 4 with a nice little slider there to stay in front of Ryan Johnson. So first lead change of the night comes on lap number 7.
So last week's winner comes back through the field, starts 4th tonight, up to 1st in a hurry, already leading some laps here, which is going to be big for this 18 because even though we're touting him as a winner last week, he is still not by any means solidified in the playoffs. It's 9 points above the cut line, that being Rob Yost. So Rob Yost not going to be happy with what he's seeing. Rob Yost started 36th, currently running 33rd. He is going to need to pick up some spots if he wants to battle in this playoff.
Yeah, and that's been kind of the status quo for Rob, too, is not qualifying, going for the hard charger point and picking up the bonus points there and going for that award at the end of the season. But what that's going to do now, he's 9 points out. He's got to pick up those spots, and man, that's just a tough position to be in where you got to pass 30 trucks to try to gain those positions on a guy that's now the race leader.
To be honest, I mean, he's got such a big lead in those hard charger standings. I don't even think he needs to start in the back anymore. He's going to be able to hold that just fine if he just picks up a few spots, regardless if it's 17 or 18. So, yeah, he might be kind of shooting himself in the foot. Plenty of time, though, to get up here. Still 130 laps to go. Starting lap number 11 now as Bobby Anderson goes down into turn 3. Not by any means out of the clear yet, with Ryan Johnson as the 48 starting to take a little peek to the inside.
Yeah, he's taking that little look. Everybody else really looking at single file, though, as I say that, Landon Cardulo moving to the inside of Lane Doyle to try to take that 3rd position. Now it nose to the inside of that left rear fender of the 18, and he's going to hold on to that position there a little bit longer.
Look at this pack up front. 7 drivers within 1 second. The last one being Jonathan Byer. Each one of these guys could easily be leading this thing here, but the leader is Bobby Anderson at the moment. He's got to hold off all these hungry drivers. Oh, Jacob Zala taking a little bit of a turn back here, saves it down on the apron and waiting to come back up at a good time. Ooh, he's got to be careful there as Brad Herman to the inside of Sean Jensick now. So Zala, great save there in that 75.
A fantastic save. Was wondering if there was contact or if maybe he hit a bump on the inside line there the wrong way. Sounds like Blair Holloman over the driver chat saying, hey, that was my bad, so maybe a little bit of contact there. Maybe just took the air out from under that 75. And these turns can be very unpredictable. You get some air packed in under. It's a short track, but it's a fast-paced short track. It can still get you pretty loose.
Yeah, it's kind of almost a little Richmond on steroids. I kind of like to describe it with the way the front stretch is kind of curved the whole way through, all the way through turn number 1, and then a little more banking through the turns, but it's just one of those tracks where you feel like you're carrying a lot of speed, and for a 7/8 mile oval, you're exactly right, it's very fast. And Sean Jensick is currently holding off Brad Herman. Brad Herman up 5 positions, up to 9th place already. So the 29 of Jensic already down 5 spots after starting the evening in 3rd, but back further. Jacob Zala, who we just saw take that little spin through turns 1 and 2, is currently battling Nathan Nixon for this final top 10 position. The 75 has his hands full right now.
Yeah, and that little slide, it wasn't a whole lot, but it's going to be enough to really wear out those tires just a little bit more than the rest of the field. And they're at the point where they're really going to be in a transition piece in these trucks. Once you get to about 20 laps in, they really start to kind of morph on you a little bit. And those trucks, if you really abuse them, they start to slide around a lot more as you hit that crest coming out of the turn that you just saw all these trucks go over that little uphill. But what they also can do is just really kind of tighten you up in the middle of the turns. It is just a nasty combination if you abuse those tires early.
See De Silva crashing here on the backstretch. Looks like he's blown the engine in that tank racing forward. So looking like De Silva's night gonna be done. Looking like he's filling in for Ben Mueller out there. So he is gonna take it down pit road, and we will stay green here at Iowa. Back up front, Ryan Johnson getting out to a little bit of a lead over his teammate there at JW Racing. 6.5 tenths the gap.
Yeah, that gap definitely has stretched out quite a good bit. We saw 7 drivers all within a second about 10 laps ago now make that the top 7 all about 2 2/3 of a second apart. As Ryan Johnson, that clean air just makes it so much easier to manage those tires. He wasn't really trying to react a whole lot either. So once he got that clean air, just put those good laps down in that truck, and that 48 back on the move.
Battle here between Austin Purnell, Dean Gagliano, and some other guys. We got Jose Castellanos in this mix, as well as Nick Halda heating up as they head down into turn number 3. Now that's going to pin Austin Purnell to the inside. He's still in, oh, excuse me, that's the 35 of Matthew Johnson now to the inside of Dean Gagliano. I was like, those trucks look the same, and the numbers kind of threw me off. But now,
oh, little bit of contact going into 1. The 49, Nick Halda saves it with an incredible save. Also looked like Austin Purnell did a good thing there, just backed off, gave him that space to collect it. Now going to take a look down to the inside, though, after a nearly disastrous moment for Nick Halda, who entered tonight 11th in the point standings, just 29 to the good. A wreck there would have been disastrous for him.
Yeah, he needs a good, solid finish here tonight. Not by any means needing a top 10 or anything, but just needs a good run here to keep his position where he's at. But, man, look at this pack back here with Jose Castellanos now to the inside of Dean Gagliano, and then you got the 7 of Lucas Lyons, the 46 of Trevor Williams, who's been coming up through the field, and there's Joseph DuPont, who's been coming up with him. He's up 14 now, and now making it 3 wide, heading down turn 1.
Man, that little bit of blinking there for Lucas Lyons in the 7, that's going to put some nerves into a lot of people. And a pack this tight as we're seeing 3 wide, nearly 4 wide, coming out of the exit of turn 2, Iowa. They call it the world's fastest short track. It's also got probably the most space and the most lines of any short track that you can come to as well. And we're seeing all of them put to use here in this pack.
Yeah, Lucas Lyons making a move to the inside of Jose Castellanos now. That's going to give Lucas the 17th position if he can complete this pass, but they're going to stay side by side heading off at turn 2, and it's side by side behind them as well with Joseph DuPont and Trevor Williams. So battles all going on here in the mid pack of this thing. And this is a great race here now 25 laps in.
Man, that was a quick 25 laps as well, as they're going around here at about 24, 25 seconds a lap. It does not take long to click off these laps here at Iowa, and still seeing that side-by-side, a couple rows deep there for position. That just outside of the top 10 as they're racing for 17th through 22nd at the moment.
Side by side further up front, Andrew Harris now to the inside of Blair Hallman. They're getting really tight here off the exit of 2. Got to be real careful as they almost make contact. This is the battle for 5th right here. Bobby Anderson right in front of them, though. That's 4th, and they're all coming up to Bobby now. Bobby falling off a little bit after charge and up towards the front early on, and Blair almost goes through the grass, it looked like there. I'm not sure if that was by design or not, but regardless, he's looking fast.
If it was by design, that was one heck of a drift, but I'm not used to seeing that much of the side of a truck trying to make that dive to the inside. I think that thing got pretty loose there behind some of that dirty air, getting tight to that 18 truck who's trying to get those tires back under balance. But Blair Holloman, good run to the inside there through 3 and 4, should be able to clear Bobby Anderson out of turn 2 with a little bit of a slider.
He's going to try and slide up in front of Bobby, and he does just that. And with that, we are under caution, looking like it's going to be Sean Kozier taking a spin through the grass. It looks like that truck looking pretty clean, though. So let's go ahead and check out the Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing Wreck replay to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, very little damage there. Maybe just a little bit to the right side of that 97, but you see him there. He's got Kevin Osanio on the inside. No contact there, a little bit of wall contact, and then he came down and caught Jason Kratke in the 54. So not a whole lot of damage really to either truck. And based on some of the things that we see that don't bring out a caution, I'm a little surprised that one did. Just single truck down into the grass, really.
Yeah, no kidding. Some of the stuff we see that just is off the racing surface, according to iRacing. You see it right here from Kratke's position. And I think both of these trucks are going to be okay, especially, like you said, we're at a short track tonight. Aerodynamics not as important as they would be at a bigger track. So I think these guys will get it fixed up and headed back in the right direction. So everybody coming down pit road right now. Ryan Johnson bringing everybody along with him to get those 4 tires in fuel.
And this is actually a huge pit stop for a couple of reasons. One, green flag pit stops here at Iowa are very tricky. It's a pretty blind entry into the turn, very narrow entry at an awkward point on the racetrack. So to do it under caution, a whole lot less stress. Other thing, you can go about 65 laps on fuel. This puts it into the position where these trucks only need one more pit stop tonight.
Watching everybody come off a pit road, looking like Ryan Johnson going to win that battle, and looking like the Abbins are going to put that one on Sean Kozier. So he's going to have to take that EOL penalty. He would have been starting back there anyway with the damage that he's got. So we're going to go ahead, step aside real quick, run a quick commercial break. Do not go anywhere because we will be right back.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, back out here in the cornfields, Brandon, as we like to call it. Lots of corn out here in Iowa, I hear.
Yeah, lots of corn in the infield. I've noticed here in the past couple of nights is little tires lining that inside wall, and on some of the views, they kind of look like corn out there. Which interesting choice, but it fits the motif, I suppose, out there in Iowa.
Hey, if you got something, stick with it. I mean, you see people in Green Bay, Wisconsin, wearing cheese heads out there. I mean, come on, Jacob Zala, right? Am I right?
I was just going to say we should ask Jacob Sala about that with the photo. And there's a look at the yellow tires there on the left side of the screen there a second ago. And we can get a good look at the...
There it is. That's awesome. All right, well, the pace car peeling off down pit road. And that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag getting out once again as Ryan Johnson gets us underway for the second time tonight.
And he got a great jump on the outside, the 47. His teammate Lane Doyle not so much on the great jump there. Got caught just a little bit. That's going to give Landon Cardulo a shot to the inside. Brad Herman maybe caught the wall there a little bit. We got trucks going all over the place there on the back straightaway as they were coming out of turn 2 trying to set themselves up. But one thing we do see is a lot of single file for the most part, but there is some pretty big damage there to the 85 on that right side.
He got a good lick to that outside wall on the exit of 2, so that's going to upset the handling a little bit on that truck. Not sure.
Oh, what around on the back
stretch. Nixon looking like I'm trying to catch him back here as he's just dropping so fast through my rankings here. Now back to 36th, and we stay green, unfortunately.
Yeah, no damage to that 98 truck, but like you said, unfortunately for him, that's not going to bring out a caution. And a lot of positions lost, a lot of time on track lost. He's going to be about 3/4 of a lap down now.
Gets down on that apron, and that really upsets the balance on the truck. And there you see him get loose off of 2. Hard on the brakes and stays off the wall, but the damage has been done with the track position that was lost. So there you see him now well off the pace back here in 36. Going to have some work to get done, but Ryan Johnson not far behind him. You can see him going around on the exit of turn 4 here. Nathan Nixon not going to be far ahead of his 48.
No, that's only about maybe 2/3 of the front stretch. So you're looking at about 80% of a lap is how far behind Nathan Nixon is right now, and that is a rough spot to be in. Just cold tires catching the apron, and also that rough surface on the inside line there in 1 and 2. That is just a nasty trifecta there for Nathan Nixon. Got him turned around pretty easy on that restart.
Joseph DuPont continuing his quest up towards the front and currently up 17 positions. Brandon, that's going to make him the butt kicker hard charger at the moment of this race here, almost a lap 40, and he is on a hurry up to the front. Still got Jose Castellanos right behind him as well, and a few other hard chargers out there too. So a lot of fast guys making their way up to the front, and it seems like a lot of guys are out here looking forward to this race tonight at Iowa. Maybe DuPont is one of them.
Yeah, there's always those guys that kind of have that short track specialty in their club bag, basically the golf bag there, that they can just really kind of pull out when you get these opportunities, similar to road course racers. And there is a little bit of a mesh there with the braking patterns and how you go through these turns. But there's going to be just some of those guys that really like these short tracks, and this is their opportunity here. This is really that one short track that they have all season long to put that on show.
Focusing in on Jose Castellanos right now. He's one of these guys that is not safe by any means. Currently sits 15th, or actually 14th in the points right now. 16 points to the good. So benefit to him is a lot of these guys like Daniel Park, Jacob Zala. I mean, Zala's up in 6th place right now. Jose back in 16th. So that wouldn't be too detrimental to Jose, but still you cannot afford a bad run when you're sitting this close to the cut line.
No, the saving grace for Jose and for Bobby also, even though Bobby's having a solid run here tonight, currently sitting in 9th and picked up a bonus point for a lap led earlier. But the big benefit to them is, other than Rob Yost, you got to go over 30 points back to the next closest competitor that could possibly move into those playoff spots. So you do have a decent safety net there, but you are still walking on a very thin wire above it.
Taking a look at Jacob Zala, who has made his way back up through the field after taking a little turn earlier through 1 and 2, having an amazing save and making a good run back to the front. Finds himself in 6th, kind of battling with Michael Madden right now, who's in 7th right behind him, up 11 from where he started tonight in 18th. So Madden having a great run to the front, wants a few more spots, and you can see him making some progress on that 75, but the 75 getting better runs off the turns.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for Jacob, too. He got that momentum kind of recovered last week as he finished 4th place in Las Vegas. That was his first top 20 in the last 5 starts before it. You have to go all the way back to his 6th place finish in Austin at Circuit of the Americas for the last time he finished in the top 20. Just a cold run there, finally snapped. And like we were talking about with Bobby Anderson there a little bit ago with that win, getting some confidence, maybe just shaking that bad rut of runs finally broke some of that confidence for Jacob. And it's going to take some effort, but he's still not out of that playoff hunt just yet.
Somebody building some confidence is this 12 truck. He's a newcomer. I think this is his 3rd race here in SRN. Kevin Asanio currently running 22nd, up 10 from where he started tonight. And confidence goes a long way. He's not going to make the playoffs based on points, can still make it based on the playoff lucky dog that goes out to the highest non-playoff finisher in the first week of the playoffs, week number 14. So Kevin has a very real shot at possibly making it with that little wild card, you could call it. And he's going to be really set up for a good run next season once we kick off season 4 here in this 12 truck.
Speaking of a hot start to an SRN career, if we can zoom in on the side of that, I think he's got some hot wings on that truck. Yeah, those are some buffalo wings out there for the Buffalo native out there.
Making me a little
in that
hungry. It looks like he's got Josh Allen on the hood, and I think my girlfriend would like this. She's part of the Bills Mafia, and she's probably rooting for this guy now. But I'm going to go ahead and make a jab and say, hey, that's why he's currently 22nd. Fellow AFC competitor. No, I'm just kidding now. He's taking a great run up towards the front, and I gotta poke at her when I can. So I actually root on the Bills when the Ravens finally fail me and lose in the playoffs. So yeah.
The Bills are basically the Cubs of the NFL. They're the lovable losers for so long.
It's really a good comparison. That's actually exactly right. And I'm gonna, hey, if I had some money to put on them, I would probably stake my bet with the Bills because they're looking pretty good this year. So he's going to be looking good once season 4 kicks off. It can actually score some points in these season championship standings. But right now, Ryan Johnson holding a half a second lead over Landon Cardullo. But I have to think that this 13 is kind of just minding his own business back here and waiting to strike as these laps tick off.
Yeah, it kind of has that feel of what we saw last night from Joseph Causey, where he was just kind of sitting there, just waiting, biding his time. Long runs are possible here on a track like this with how much space that there is, even though it's a short track, and really saving those tires can go a long, long way, though he did get a little bit loose there coming off of turn 4, dropped a couple of tenths of a second, but that's in a long run, not a huge deal. Still has about 8 tenths going back to Blair Holloman behind him as we check in side-by-side battle. This for 5th between Jonathan Byer and Jacob Zala, 2 teammates there for JBR. They got Michael Madden trying to put a little bit of pressure on there as well.
Yeah, so Madden trying to see what happens with Jacob Zala here. Jacob not getting the momentum he needed off the exit of that turn and now had to stay behind his teammate in the 66, maybe wait a few laps, cool those tires off a bit, and make another run at it as he kind of sideswipes the wall right there. Don't think that's going to be really detrimental to the 75's cause, but could rattle the confidence a little bit here. Maybe the truck's starting to not feel the way he wants here on lap 54.
Yeah, that's right about that point I was talking about earlier. We're about 20 green flag laps into this run. That's where those tires kind of hit a different point in the run where they start getting a lot more slidey on you. They just don't grip that track as well. You start coming over that crest that's really similar to Dover, and it just lightens that truck up even more. And when those tires don't grip, that's just a double hit there that really makes those trucks loose. And that looks like probably what happened there. So now he's got Michael Madden really getting tight to that left rear quarter panel of that 75 truck, going to give him a little bit more space and choose to fight that position another day.
Yeah, the 15 putting some pressure here on the 75, getting just about as close as he can. Poor old Uncle Netcode might show his rear or his ugly head I should say, and maybe make a showing here tonight. But I'm not going to bring that into existence by speaking about it. We're not going to have any netcode issues here. He's making a clean pass to the inside of the 75. That 15 looks really good and is just slowly picking up spots as we near the halfway mark tonight.
Man, big run there from Jacob Zala in the 75. Nearly put Jonathan Byer in the middle 3 wide for a second there. Not sure if Madden maybe saw that going and kind of backed out a little bit, or just didn't like the run that he got off of turn 4, but he lost a lot of time, goes right back to that back bumper there of the 75.
Yeah, so we will keep an eye on this battle. Let's go further on back in the pack. This is Trevor Williams, who just picked up 15th position, but Ben Park not wanting to give up there in the 8 out of Dark Tank Racing. He's going to have to, though, with the 46 getting a good run off of 4. Move him up into 15.
Man, these are a couple of guys still fighting to try to lock up a playoff spot for Ben Park. Not likely going to happen tonight, as he's just 26 points to the good. Going to need a lot to fall in his favor, but he can set himself up for a great position going into the regular season finale next week, just a couple hundred miles away from this racetrack in Kansas. For Trevor Williams, he knows he just needs 8th place or better to clinch a playoff spot tonight. A little bit away from that, but he's going a long way right now from that starting spot of 29th all the way up to 15th.
Yeah, you got AJ Pritchett in this mix back here, and he had a 14th at Vegas, 21st at Auto Club, and that comes after a run of 4 straight top 10s, and currently back here in 21st, so maybe losing some of the steam that he had in the middle portion of this regular season and at a very inopportune time. Brandon, you don't want to be in a funk once you get to week 14.
No, just like we talk about all the confidence that you can build, you can lose that confidence at the wrong point in the season. And I'll be point blank. A couple of weeks ago, I was sitting there thinking that might be a sleeper pick for the Championship 5 with the way that he was running there with all those top 10s in a row. And I'm not going to sit there and say, 14th place last week is a horrible finish by any means. That's a solid run for most weeks for most drivers. But it just kind of starts wondering, how would he recover from that back-to-back out of the top 10 after that strong run? Tonight could be a good showing here if he picks up that pace, but currently sitting in 21st, looking like that run might extend yet another week unless he picks it up.
Well, Blair Hellman up to 3rd now as he gets on by it. Lane Doyle, Lane back to 4th place now. Jacob Zala completing the pass on Jonathan Byer as well. Madden going along there too. So Byer back to 7th, and Zala now back in the top 5. Zala could very well win this thing tonight with the way that truck is looking. He's got some good speed in that JBR Toyota Tundra, and we have a yellow flag here tonight. For the second time, Matthew Johnson turned around at the start-finish line.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago. I was just thinking, man, it's good to see him back out here in the Truck Series in SRN, and the night not looking like it's going the way that he would have envisioned here as that 35 spun around as we look at the Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing rec replay for the second time, well, I guess the third time tonight, the second caution tonight. And he had the outside line, got a little bit loose and kind of came back down on that 8 truck of Ben Park. I'd put that more on the 35, just kind of losing the rear end of that truck and sliding it down, at least from that first angle. Take a look here from the roof of Ben Park, and yeah, just got loose. Nowhere really for Ben to go. He was kind of committed to coming back up that racetrack and taking the line that he had, so not really anything he could do on that one. Just an unfortunate time to get loose there for Matt Johnson.
Yeah, Ben Park tried everything he could. You could hear him get out of the gas and try to avoid him, but unfortunately was not able to do so and sent the 35 spinning through the infield, and we are under our second caution of the night, and that is going to bring everybody down pit road.
And this comes at a really interesting point in the race. Talked about it earlier. You can get about 65 laps, maybe can stretch it out to about 68 laps. But now we're looking at 75 laps to go unless there's a couple cautions. Oh, Lane Doyle overshooting the pit maybe?
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of spots.
Yeah, that took him a while to get that thing back in reverse, to put it back in the stall. He lost maybe a second or two, and that's going to cost him probably a handful of positions. It's Ryan Johnson away, Landon Cardulo away, Blair Holloman. There goes the pack. Lane Doyle drops all the way back to what looks like 7th or 8th position on the grid.
Yeah, Michael Madden comes out in 4th, so he picks up 2 spots on pit road. Jonathan Byer moves back ahead of his teammate Jacob Zala, and Brad Herman up to 7th now. So some shakeups after this round of pit stops, and Lane Doyle comes off pit road in the 8th position. So that cost him some significant time and some significant track position as well.
Yeah, that's a big hit, but that 47's got some speed. We've seen that already. The question's going to be, is that speed going to translate to making some passes on the racetrack? As see you there on the bottom, racing incident there is the ruling on that cause caution, which makes sense. Truck getting loose, not a whole lot there that can be avoided.
Brandon, while we're under yellow flag conditions, let's go ahead and maybe, what do you say, show the 4th reveal here for the All-Star Race track car combination. Let's kick it off.
Absolutely. We are 3 for 3 in cars and tracks I'm excited about. There we got the Mazda Miatas, the MX-5s at Bristol is one of the options. ARCA at Richmond, another one of those options. Last night we got the reveal of the street stocks at Martinsville, and now reveal number 4 is the Legends at South Boston. That is we're talking short track here today at 7/8 of a mile. How about a 4/10 of a mile racetrack with some very old school race cars out there? That could be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, so we're going to pick between 5 tracks. It's going to be a random pick, and we're going to figure out what we're going to be racing, and that's all going to happen on draft night. So definitely check it out. It's going to be Friday, June 10th. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a heck of a show. We put together 4 teams, 50 drivers to be drafted, and it's going to be a great time to have everybody out there and chiming in on what they think of the picks. So I'm excited, Brandon. What do you think?
I absolutely love this event. We got to take part in it the first season for SRN back when we had the ARCA cars at Indianapolis, and it was I enjoyed it for a couple of reasons. It was a great run for me, but also just because it was a whole lot of fun out there, getting the heat races, getting the feature out there, getting the kind of in the Discord channels. You're bonding with people that you're normally not used to teaming up with, and you get to kind of communicate with more people and really get to know others. Just a great time all around, there we go, for a whole lot of different reasons. So can't wait for this one coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but that one was for nothing. It was mainly for bragging rights. This one is going to have some dough on the line. The first place winner in the main race is going to come away with $150. Second going to get $80, and third going to get $40. We're going to have a hard charger award too. That is going to come away with $20. Even the qualifiers going to get paid out too. 30, 20, 10 going to first, second, and third. And our pole sitter are going to even get a little bit of cash. So there's a lot to race for when we get out there on June 11th and 12th. But definitely stop on by for that draft show on June 10th. So pace car going to peel off down pit road once again. And Ryan Johnson's going to see that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving. And yeah, Lucas Lyons with a little bit of a shakeup back there.
A whole lot of a shakeup through a lot of that, and that really even started back with the race leader on the 48. Ryan Johnson didn't really get going. At the same time, Blair Holloman thought Holloman hit the gas, got into the back of the 48, and then everybody just kind of accordioned on that inside line. Somehow, no significant damage for anybody, but what it does do is put that 13 out in front as he had clean air out in front of him.
Yeah, Landon Cardulo out in front looking to get his first one. Just look at how bumpy this track is when these trucks are down there on that yellow line. It is a very bumpy surface out here at Newton, Iowa. So back here, the battle between the 87 and the 85, two familiar foes here in the Speed Racing Network Truck Series. Brad Herman still got some speed in that beat-up 85, and we're under a yellow flag once again, looking like it's Nathan Nixon.
Oh, wow. Not often you see that on a short track. We're coming back down onto all 4 tires as yet again Sparkle and Shine getting some quality airtime here. with the mobile Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing rec replay. 4th time tonight, unfortunately for Nathan Nixon, the 2nd time he's going to be keyed in on here. To see him going about 3 wide. Just lost it.
Overcorrects. Wow, and that is one of those things here on iRacing that just always seems to make me giggle a little bit when these cars get launched into the air like that. Unfortunately for Nathan, it's going to probably end his night with that type of hit. But yeah, just kind of overcorrected it here a little bit too much and went straight to the wall.
Yeah, that was a sharp overcorrection. You could tell what he was trying to do, and oh my goodness. All right, well.
And there you go.
As somebody that has vertigo issues every now and then, glad I could look away there for a second.
That was just for you, Brandon. I did that specifically for you and your vertigo, my bad.
One thing I'm kind of wondering here is if that 5 truck of Jose Castellanos caught a piece of him as well on this follow-through. So you see the 98 spin around. Yeah, oh, wow, I didn't even see Jose on that first angle go flying. That's incredibly unfortunate there for both of them, for that damage being far worse than it had any right being.
Oh, man, and that is exactly what we just talked about, sitting as close to the cut line as he is. Not the week to have a night like this. That 5's night is going to be over with some significant engine damage. Look at that 5 all beat up. The 98 just as beat up, too. That was a big incident for these two drivers.
And they're both surrounding the cut line there. Castellanos 14th in points, 16 to the good. Nathan Nixon, unfortunately for him, this is probably going to knock him out of contention for being able to point his way into the playoffs. He was 40 points out, entering the night in 19th. He was going to need a lot of help, and that is not what he needed tonight.
Trevor Williams, the first car to come down pit road. Actually, pardon me. That's going to be Ben Park. He's the first one that came down pit road, sits 23rd. Lost some track position with that decision, but is going to have about 8-lap fresher tires than the rest of the competition. We kind of saw that difference on track yesterday with the Cup Series guys, and fresh tires could go a long way here at Iowa.
The fresh tires can go a long way. The thing is, I think the track position does just as much if you're up in the front. If you're in the mid-pack, those fresh tires are going to be huge. And we're not talking about a whole lot of fresh tires, though. I mean, we're only got a handful of green flag laps there, so not too sure what that might achieve aside from the possibility that those drivers could be able to stretch it on fuel without having to make another pit stop should this thing stay green. They're going to have to do some conserving, but they might be able to make it the rest of the way.
Taking a look at our top 5 as it stands. Landon Cardillo gonna fake the guys out. He's gonna be our leader. I thought he was maybe coming down pit road for a second. Not the case. Gonna come across the stripe to begin a lap. 75 pace car lights are off. Our current leader here tonight, Ryan Johnson, to his outside. It's gonna be restarting in second position. Then we got Michael Madden in third. Jacob Zala in fourth, and then Lane Doyle quietly sitting here in fifth, and wanted to go ahead and focus in on Lane Doyle, the driver of the 47, a rookie this year, and put him on the driver's spotlight. It's got 310 points to his name. 1 win, came on week number 1 at Daytona, but 4 top 5s, average finish of 8.0, and 127 laps led. Lane has had a very solid season to this point.
A super solid season for Lane in that 47 truck. It's been a bit bumpy since we got past Phoenix there in week number 3, where he was part of that epic last lap race with his teammate Ryan Johnson for that race win. And you know, just the way he started that season so strong. He's still sitting third in points, but it feels like he fell off a bit, even though he's still sitting there putting together solid runs. It ain't like he's really fallen off a whole lot. It just seems like with how quickly he started in the season, still very much a contender for the championship 5.
Yeah, so pace car lights finally off. I don't know what it is about Iowa, Brandon, but doesn't it seem like these cautions take forever? Like we run an extra lap or two almost?
It's a long caution around here, and especially when these trucks, they're going, 155, 160 miles an hour at times around this racetrack, and then they get behind the pace car and they're going all of about 45. It is a big difference around there as I just love the tagline, the world's fastest short track out there at Iowa, and it has lived up to the expectation with the speeds that we've seen here tonight.
Almost feels like a one-up on Bristol. They go by the world's fastest half mile, so hey, they can settle that in their own time. We're going to settle this out, though, right now. Landon Cardullo starting on the outside this time for the fourth restart of the night. Pace car goes down pit road, and he sees that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving here again at Iowa. The 13 gets off to a good restart.
That was a picture-perfect restart there for Landon Cardullo, and what that also did was give Michael Madden a shot. Oh, heavy contact there between Jacob Zala and the 48 of Ryan Johnson. Johnson still going to carry some momentum to the inside, but not going to be able to stay side by side with Michael Madden, who's going to continue to hold on to the second spot after picking that up on the restart.
Yeah, but they're still battling. Wow, Jacob Zala sends it in deep there and shoves Ryan Johnson up the track. Johnson going to lose a lot of spots there. Now back to 7th and battling Andrew Harris now. Now got Brad Herman right behind him. So tough break, and that is only going to get those short track tempers flaring, Brandon.
Just as you were saying that, my first thought went to the old Denny Hamlin line that has been mocked several times. Yeah, but I think we're getting to that point in the race. We're in the second half of it, and the aggression really starting to show. And, yep, that's just short track racing, everybody.
Yeah, so the battle now with Brad Herman, Ryan Johnson. This is the best battle on the track, and it's for 7th. Give it to Brad Herman. Put Ryan Johnson back to 8th, and now with a hungry Sean Jensen, who needs just about every possible point he can find here tonight. He's going to be hungry to pick up these next 8 positions because Jensen wants to win here for our first trip at Iowa, and he's making a good run of it tonight. He has only fallen back 6 positions from where he started up on the second row, but quietly sitting here in 9th. So back further on here in the field, we got Kevin Asanio now up to 17, slowly making progress in that delicious-looking number 12 Chevy Silverado. And he's got Daniel Park just in front of him now. And the battle kind of heating up a little further on back with Josh Mueller and Walt Lipicki.
Man, heavy racing back here in this group as seeing a lot of guys just really trying to get some momentum going here as they currently run around the 20th position on racetrack. Josh Mueller, one of those guys, he's still not out of it, but he's going to need to pick some spots up. Oh, we got one around. And, yeah, Lane Doyle. And we got another one just in front, still spinning.
I think that's his teammate, Nick Halda.
That is Nick Halda. So Lane Doyle, he's locked into the playoffs already. Nick Halda far from it, and that is not what the JW Racing stable wants to see. 2 of their trucks, 2 of the contenders here for some solid runs tonight, both in trouble. And we got
Lane Doyle to the inside of Zala. And not sure if Zala was trying to side draft or what, but just kind of turns down.
I believe that was Andrew Harris that got him too. Saw another truck caught into this, so we got about 4 or 5 trucks damaged in this one. Watching this chase cam, kind of like the drone.
Yeah, he just gets into the side of the 47 and pretty much sends him spinning through turn 3 and a hard hit into the wall here. And a few other guys going to be collected as well. Yeah, Andrew Harris, big hit in that 87. That's going to hurt his cause. And you're right, that was the 49 going on by him too, his teammate Nick Halda. So let's go ahead.
I can't tell. I think that was Troy Techmeyer that caught a piece of it at the very end of that.
Let's see.
But one thing I'm just starting to wonder is I don't think Jacob Zala's got many friends with JW Racing right now since that last restart. That was not sure if anything happened before it, but there was some definite kind of lean down there to the inside, and oh wow, hard hit there for Andrew Harris to that nose. That's going to be a very rough scenario for him. With 21 points good, nose damage could be potentially nightmare scenario material for Harris. Nick Halda 29 points to the good, and he just got on the brakes. I'm not sure if he got help from behind checking up on that one, or if he just hit the brakes a little too hard and locked it up, but no damage there at least for the 49.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think as he's just kind of There he goes. My super is kind of freaking out right now because they're sending a message through saying that one's going to be on Jacob Zala. But yeah, I think he just hit the brakes a little too hard there with Jonathan Byer checking up pretty quickly in front of him. So no harm, no foul for the 49, and Jacob Zala going to receive that EOL. So back out here live, there you see the 49 looking pretty good still, no damage, but lost some track position, which he definitely needs here as we're nearing the end of this one. And I think these guys might be staring down. They might be able to make it the rest of the way. Some of them pitting on lap number 83. Only 4 trucks staying out, and that's Trevor Williams, Dean Gagliano, Matthew Johnson, and Ben Park.
Yeah, and I think Matthew Johnson's the only one that would be in danger of not being able to make it the rest of the way. You got to remember the old rule of thumb. You can get about 2 or 3 laps worth of fuel under caution compared to what you would under green flag conditions. This is our second caution since those pit stops for guys like Trevor Williams about 10 laps earlier. Think they should be able to stretch it. Everybody from 5th on back, they all made their pit stops. They can definitely make it the rest of the way.
So we'll see if it pays off for these guys. Like I said earlier, tires are big time here. So we will find out exactly how they do when we come back from a very, very quick commercial break. I promise we won't go anywhere.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, pace car about to peel off, and we're going to get the 5th restart of the night here on lap number 88. Trevor Williams sees the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag now and gets it underway. Dean Gagliano off to another decent restart as well. He's got Matt Johnson and Ben Park, right behind him.
I'm not the only one that's done it this season. All right, now that I've gotten that out of the way, but a huge restart here for Trevor Williams, who got out front. We've been following him for much of the race from 29th all the way to the lead now. And, man, he's making good use of that clean air up in front already, about 2/3 of a second clear of his teammate.
Yeah, this 13, the first truck on fresh tires here, making a pass in the middle here, clears both of these guys. Move Landon up to 3rd after restarting that last time in 5th. Quick progress here in that Toyota Tundra, not wasting any time, wanting to put himself a little bit ahead of the rest of the guys. The next closest behind him going to be Michael Madden, who also came down on pit road as well. He's in 7th, and now moving by Matt Johnson to the outside of that 35.
And seeing some big movers here, just that little bit of extra grip. Now that's going to equalize probably in about 10 laps. So those guys on fresher tires, they're kind of fighting that balance right now. How aggressive do you want to be? Oh, we got one around in 3 and 4 hard into the outside wall. A couple more spinning with them.
Yeah, this is Kevin Asanio, Byer going on by right there. Let's see, we got a lot of guys involved in this one. Seeing Walt Lepicki. Yeah, Travis Anderson, Sean Kozier. Jonathan Byer, I'm not sure if that was when he went on by, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing rec replay, figure out exactly what happened here.
Yeah, as the old motto, cautions breeding cautions, is taking place here on the short track in Iowa. As
Mesa gets into him there a little bit.
Oh, Mesa getting into him, and he's going to pick up the EOL on this one. Just a little bit of a later entry there. And nice job by Jonathan Byer, just taking the loss of a couple spots there, hitting the brakes, stopping, making sure he didn't pick up any damage there. I think that's about the same for a couple of the other guys that we saw spun down onto the inside. I don't think they really even hit anything, just trying to avoid the wreck and sliding it.
Yeah, this is Zala. He spins himself almost a little bit there.
That's there's a little impact there for, I believe that was Lipicki and Kozier, but I don't think anybody else really picked up much damage in this one aside from Asanio.
Yeah, Kozier gets into the 64 of Lipicki, and I'm not sure who that was, but they barely made it by him. I think that was Bergeson. I'll take a look at that one more time, and we'll go back out live on the track, but see what this looked like from the 40 truck's perspective.
You can see it already about a few seconds away. Does a good job checking up, slows it down, waits for that line to clear, and that's wreck avoidance 101 right there. That was a great job.
Good job by the 40 to just kind of take his time getting through there. There's Kevin Asanio on pit road. Everybody else still out on track. Trevor Williams opting to stay out. Dean Gagliano, Ben Park also opting to stay out, but one of those guys that did stay out there coming down pit road to get for fresh tires and fuel, that being Matthew Johnson. He didn't like the way that truck was feeling as he was falling through the field a little faster than the rest of these guys.
He was also in that precarious position. He came in a caution before the people that came in, the caution before the rest of the field that we were talking about having those fresh tires. He was in that spot. I don't think he was going to be able to stretch it the rest of the way, so he had to come in at some point. At least this way, he's buying himself some time with about 57 laps to go, probably about 55 by the time that we go back racing. It's going to be 45 by the time we go back racing.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and maybe pull a little fast one here, see if these pace car lights are going to stay on. I think they should, because we just have the world's longest pace laps here at Iowa Speedway, it seems, and they are going to stay on. So let's go ahead and bring Landon Cardulo up to the booth. Landon, it's your good buddies here, Greg Olenek and Brandon Domain. Tell us about your race so far, sitting P2. You got what it takes to win this thing tonight with those fresh tires.
I hope so. This is definitely different getting pulled up during the race. No, truck's been good. Long runs really have not been that well for me, but I've got some good track position, got some cars between me and Ryan Johnson. I think he's the one to beat. I know he's got some damage, but he's still fast. And see if we can bring this thing first place.
Brandon, go ahead. I just heard you.
Sorry, I was just looking to see if we were going to take one to go. Apologies about that. Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing a whole lot of restarts here. These cautions kind of piling in on each other, but it seems like you've been just really good on these restarts. So just want to say good job on that, and see if we can keep it going here the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm trying. The restarts are a big thing here because it's a multi-groove track, so you can basically do whatever you want. So yeah, we're going to try it here on the inside, so hopefully it works out.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to send you back down to your JBR Discord. Best of luck, and maybe we'll be talking to you here after the race.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
All right, yeah. You kind of see, I even threw a little curveball to Landon, catching him off guard, not being used to coming up here and talking to us during a race. So, yeah, it's sometimes it's a good idea to see what's going on in these guys' heads, and seems cool, calm, collected, and focused. I know Landon wants to get that first win off his back and maybe start ripping off a few of them here. That's what he did last season in Season 2.
Yeah, this is that time of year where you normally see somebody really catch fire right at the start of the playoffs, right at the end of the regular season, and that traditionally has been the guy that goes on to win the title. I think Landon knows that, and he's in a pretty good position to possibly be that guy here this season.
So pace car going to come down pit road. Trevor Williams going to waste no time. He's going to get right on that loud pedal and see the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving, but Landon gets a good jump too, putting some time between him and that third place truck of Ben Park.
Man, that is just a huge restart there for the 46, and I think he just caught everybody off guard. Normally people have been waiting a little bit. He did a good job of just like, sideways off of 4. He's going to collect it. Squeezing with Landon into the wall. Now it's a big wreck possibly.
The 6th caution of the night is out. Brad Herman also involved in this one, looking like he's dropping through the field. There's the 85 parked to the inside. A lot of trucks caught up in this one. Man.
Oh, man, this just went all awry, and I think that's kind of why we stopped pulling people up into the booth not long ago, actually. Not to laugh at that, but yeah, as we look at the Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing Rec replay, but we saw a good bit of what happened there live, and just the 46 got loose, thought he had some space there to maybe get back in front, and that door was already slammed shut there by the 13 and just put him right back into the wall. So somebody else in the back of that pack kind of spinning to the grass. Not sure if he hit the wall or anything on that follow through. I'm going to imagine just a checkup gone wrong. But, oh, man, this race has just gone awry very, very quickly after that first caution there about 20, 30 laps ago.
Yeah, so Trevor Williams, no surprise, is going to get that EOL. I'm not sure if he just wasn't aware that the 13 wasn't there, but pinches landing up into the wall and big-time damage for a lot of trucks here now after that one. So we started the race off pretty clean, and now this thing is getting pretty banged up. A lot of damaged trucks out here tonight.
A lot of damaged trucks. As you see the 26 there of Josh Mueller, he's still got some heavy nose damage rolling through on pit road. Trevor Williams, that truck really beat up. Obviously, he's going to be going to the back. Beat up truck there for Matt Johnson in the 35. It looks like a short track race out here with all these trucks with a ton of damage right now. It is just one of those races. We kind of talked about it off air too, that we don't see many short tracks. If they get the space, it's going to be a good race here with how you can run at Iowa. But the problem is you got 40 trucks or 38 trucks out there at the start. Keep bunching them up on these restarts as we get later and later in the race. People get more and more aggressive trying to pick up every spot that they can or protect the spots that they're able to. And it has just led to a mess here with 4 cautions packed in right on top of each other.
Yeah, so now turning lap number 100. Only 40 laps to go, but kind of seeming like that's a long time to go with trends here lately. So we're going to step aside real quick, run another quick commercial break, and come right back with the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today, and maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
All right, right, pace car lights are off, and we're getting ready to kick this thing off one more time. And what a better time to do that, especially with some maybe short track tempers starting to flare out there, Brandon.
Yeah, a little bit. It definitely feels like we're starting to see some angry driving out here right now. And man, I'm impressed. Landon Cardulo, that truck beat up, but it's not as beat up as I thought it was going to be. He's going to still have a shot here on the outside of row one. Michael Madden, though, clean truck, and he's going to be out in front for the first time tonight.
Yeah, he gets a good jump there. Landon getting a decent jump as well, but Michael going to split that gap up to about 3 or 4 truck lengths. Gets a good restart here for the seventh time tonight.
And quietly, Michael Madden out in front. This is the 4th time in the last 5 races he's led a lap, and that really goes back to Talladega when he finally shook that weight off his back, got that win for the first time in about a full season, just about that actually. He has been really good running up front once he got that confidence back, and that 15 looking really stout once again.
Sean Jensick trying to make the pass on the 7 here of Lucas Lyons. This battle for 6th. Lucas able to hold on to it at the moment, holding on to that high line, but the 29 slowly making his way back up to where he started in 3rd place tonight. So keep an eye on that 29. Ben Park now to the inside of Ryan Johnson. Actually, this might be Ryan Johnson making the pass here on Ben Park. So move the 48 back up to 3rd. He wants to get back out front.
And that 48 just quietly worked his way right back up towards the front, now sitting in P3. So our points leader showing why he is in that position yet again. And he's the only driver locked into the playoffs right now that's still sitting inside the top 15. The next one back would be Brad Herman back in 19th. So we're seeing a big shakeup for the top of the leaders, the points leaderboard, as Brian Johnson to the inside now. Landon Cardulo, that's the race for 2nd, and that's music to Michael Madden's ears. So he's going to open up a over 1 second lead now.
Yeah, so side-by-side battle between the 13 and the 48, and we've seen a few skirmishes here between the JW Racing and JBR trucks here. So these two racing cleanly, though, here for 2nd. Ryan Johnson trying to complete the pass, but they're going to be side-by-side. Blair Hallman, whoa, they almost make contact there off of turn 4. Blair just sitting back here waiting to see which lane's going to go. He looks like he's got a fast 06 truck as well.
Yeah, for a moment there, Blair probably thinking, nah, I might need to sit back a little bit farther after that near incident there coming off of turn 4, but he's going to follow Ryan Johnson through that inside window that opened up. A nice little slider there from the 48 to get that truck cleared in front of the 13, and now that's going to give the opportunity to Blair Holloman. He almost dove it in real deep, but Ryan Johnson took a little bit of a later entry to try to dive it in, get more of a straight line coming out of that exit, and might have cut off that run just a little bit.
Out front, Madden's pulling off to a nice, healthy lead, already almost to 1.5 seconds over Ryan Johnson. So that's going to be music to the ears of the 15 driver, Michael Madden. See if he can maintain that gap for the rest of the race. Still a healthy amount of time left in this one. Further on back, though, Jacob Zala, who has a very beat-up Toyota Tundra, trying to work his way back into the field. Once again, he's back here in 22nd, currently battling with Walt Lipicki. So keep an eye on that. And now Bobby Anderson, he is trying to defend his position over Austin Purnell. Purnell taking a look to the inside of last week's winner. Bobby trying to come away with a solid top 10 in his defense of that current playoff position.
And that defense looking a little tight right now. Rob Yost sitting in the 18th position. Lost a couple spots there that last lap. So Bobby kind of flirting with that line a little bit, but still with that advantage over Rob Yost. Keep in mind, though, Jose Castellanos, rough night there. Andrew Harris has had a rough night as well, though he's starting to rebound back up through the field just a little bit. He's back on the lead lap, running 28th at the moment, though, but starting to move back forward. But there's a lot of guys that have had some beat-up nights, beat-up race trucks out there, and this point shake-up going to get a lot tighter, I think, going into Kansas.
The current butt kicker high charger of the race going to be the 6 of Daniel Park at the moment. So he is up 18 positions from where he started in 31st tonight, currently running 13th in that beautiful number 6 out of Dark Tank Racing. So it's going going to look to make up a few more positions, maybe come away with a solid top 10 here tonight.
Yeah, definitely looking like it. And he's had his 3 best finishes have all come in the last 3 races, looking to make that 4 out of the last 4 races. He's been in the top 12 each of the last 3 weeks, and sitting in a solid spot once again in 13th. And one truck that's kind of caught my eye as we check in on this battle for second, Ryan Johnson and Blair Holloman, is the truck right behind them. That's 7 of Lucas Lyons, just kind of creeping his way up through the field. He's plus 16 in his own right now, sitting in the 4th position.
Yeah, you see Hugh Lyons in the chat saying slow and steady. You got to imagine he's talking about the 7 right there who's moving his way up through the field. But Blair Holloman, slow and steady as well. Started tonight 7th, currently 3rd, making a run on 2nd. We talked to Blair Holloman last week after the race because he had another podium finish. Looking to maybe make it back-to-back podiums here tonight at Iowa. Great run for that 06.
And that's coming at a great time, just finding that momentum once again. He's kind of seeing both ends of this playoff race right now on the Cup side. He's one of those bubble drivers trying to fight right along that cut line as we move to the regular season finale next Tuesday at Kansas. Here he's in a much better position. He was in win-and-in position right now to clinch a spot, but with the trouble that a lot of guys have had here in this race, he might be sitting in the position that he needs to lock up one of those playoff spots just by sitting in 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, so he knows that. He's possibly going to just take it easy for the rest of the night and maybe just clinch that thing and see if we can make an effort in the playoffs to come away with a few wins. But right now, Brad Herman making an effort to move back up to the field after being involved in that last incident up to 16th, trying to get past Raul Meza here, who is trying to make his way back up after serving an EOL. A lot of guys back here have been involved in something here recently.
And we kind of got the walking wounded right now in this pack. Once you get to about 14th, 13th on back, a lot of beat-up race trucks out there. And that is what you expect when you come to a short track, because you got a lot of motion down there on that front stretch. A.J. Pritchett diving down deep to the inside. Saw one down on the apron. Not sure.
Doyle.
Lane Doyle, not sure if he was coming off pit road or something there. Yeah, he's 22 laps down. He might have just been rejoining the racetrack, seeing what he's got there in that 47. And that thing is definitely hampered. Way off the pace right now.
Yeah, just take a look at Landon Cardulo, who restarted 2nd this last restart. He's back here losing positions left and right. He's in 15th now. And Pritchett now taking a look to the inside. Meza also going to look to get by him as well. Landon will be lucky to come away with the top 20 after what just happened a few cautions ago.
Yeah, he's in an awkward spot right now. You know, he was another one of those drivers winning in to clinch one of those spots. 15th might not be good enough to do it tonight, but it is going to still set him up to be in a strong position for Kansas, where he would just need a nightmare scenario to really put him in danger. So he's kind of in this spot now. Just try to protect as many points as you can with a truck that beat up.
Don't look in your mirror now, Michael Madden, because you're going to have some company here. Ryan Johnson is gaining on Madden here for first place. That gap down to 0.6 of a second. Got some lap traffic coming into play too here, so this thing is about to get heated up, especially with Blair Holloman also in the mix.
And in the background, you saw that red truck, 4th in line. That's Sean Jensick. He made the move to the inside, getting by Lucas Lyons. So that will move Jensick into the 4th position. Lyons still in 5th. But, yeah, that window's starting to close pretty tight there by Ryan Johnson. And, man, he had that damage that he picked up there about midway through this race and kind of fell all the way back to that 10th position after that little bit of a run in there. And he's worked his way right back up to the front, and man, he's had one of the strongest, if not the strongest truck out there all night tonight, and that is showing here on this run since the restart.
Yeah, riding on board with the 48. Now that gap, as he's got a lap truck here really hindering the exit for Michael Madden. That is going to help Ryan Johnson big time. He's going to clear the 88 here and try to split the gap a little more. Wow, is Travis Anderson going to get out of the way for Ryan Johnson here. So that gap now 0.4 of a second. We got a battle with 16 laps to go.
Absolutely do, and I think these trucks are starting to get spread out enough that I'm not going to say that there's not much of a chance of a caution, but there is a lower chance of a caution, so we might see a nice little run here with this chess match playing out. And if it does, the big thing I remember going back to last night is how much that clean air really helps that lead truck. It is so much harder to make that pass for the lead than really anywhere else on the racetrack. You got to get a good run. There might almost a little bit of an overdrive, but a good catch there from Ryan Johnson. Stayed in it, still staying on the outside, trying to get that nose to the right side of Michael Madden, and he does.
Ooh, wow, he gets really close to the wall. Has to get out of it a little bit there. He's going to lose some big-time momentum headed down the front stretch. 14 to go. And Ryan Johnson trying to pick where he's going to make it happen. Seems like he's got a really bad pass. Yeah, somebody back here in the wall. Might be Brad Herman.
I think I see Lucas Lyons slow off pace against the wall. And there is that 7 truck, and man, that was a great run he was having sitting in the top 5. Not sure what happened, but we'll find out here on the Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing rec replay.
So it looks like he's 3 wide here with Brad Herman and Jensic on the exit of 4. Gets real tight. And yeah, the 2985 make contact.
Oh, wrecking in front too.
7 might have been all right here. I don't know if he was involved in anything that just happened. Let's take a look at that, though, because there was 2 incidents that happened a little further up ahead of him. Looks like Matt Johnson was also involved in something here in that 35. So there's something ahead of this that's causing these guys to check up. Oh, that's Brad Herman, so yeah.
Wait, I'm a little confused.
Me too. I'm very confused right now.
I feel like we've entered multiple timelines at the same place. This is pretty odd.
Let's see if this is a similar thing. Brad Herman. Yeah, this is already so we're just going further on back in the field. Austin Purnell. So they're going to go ahead and tell us, and we just were not able to track that one down. So yeah, let's take a look at Austin Purnell here. He's in that 36 to the outside. Bobby Anderson really tight off of 4, but this is right in front of them again. So that's Brad Herman getting turned right there. That could not have been right.
In the meantime, I swear I saw that 7 truck against the wall at some point. This is really weird.
We're going to find out because we're going to go figure it out with the source and bring up Lucas Lyons if I can track him down. There he is right here. So yeah, it was a little bit further on ahead of. I just thought that was I thought you were right. Yeah, so it's right here. Looks like it was Landon Cardulo involved in this one. Trevor Williams gets loose. This is a mirror.
This is from earlier.
Okay, so you're exactly right, Brandon. Oh my god! So
we just got SDK kind of steered wrong here. I think.
All right, so it didn't have that caution for some reason.
I was sitting there like Landon Cardulo was in front, and that didn't make sense at this point in the race. So something was weird, and I'm glad we figured that out. So something happened there with SDK, I'm going to imagine, but it was definitely the 7 that was involved. As I could have sworn I saw him against the wall, and that's definitely.
Yeah, I was like, this is a mirror image of the skirmish between Trevor Williams and Landon Cardulo. There's no way this happened again.
But that also answered my question that I didn't understand of who was spinning through the grass on that caution. Couldn't quite figure that out, and now we know it was Brad Herman that was spinning through the grass. So.
Yeah, and I'm a big old idiot because we just did that for about 2 minutes, and we still don't know what just happened. So, yeah, under our 7th caution of the night with 10 laps to go, and here's your leader, Landon Cardulo, back out front after opting to not pit his teammate Jacob Zala, doing the same thing. First one with fresh tires is going to be Ryan Johnson here in 3rd.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson sitting in a golden position. He's going to be on the inside there of row number 2. The problem is you got to make sure that those 2 in front don't spin the tires. But once you get away from that restart, he should have a pretty good time with those fresh tires getting right back down. Blair Holloman going to be starting on the outside of row number 2 in position number 4. I think the second best truck in this picture right now, though, is going to be Michael Madden. He's going to be inside on row number 3. And on old tires, on a track like this, some guys might be starting in first, some might be starting in second. I hope that front row on older tires is going to be starting in second just to reduce the wheel spin. But you definitely want to be in the lane of the the leader that's going to be leading it, not the person that's reacting to it. It's a whole lot easier to spin those tires reacting.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that inside line is going to be getting to a good move. I really like where the 48 and the 15 are.
Yeah, so rounding out the rest of the top 10 will be Nick Halda, Sean Jensick, Brad Herman, Ben Park, and Jonathan Byer. So some familiar names up front. Nick Halda with a great rebound to some trouble that he's had here tonight in that 49. And then, I mean, look at this. Bobby Anderson now up to 11th. Lucas Lyons sitting here in 12th after some issues here lately. D. Gagliano with a fantastic run tonight in 13th. Daniel Park and Kyle Lingerfeld rounding out the top 50. So a great run for Raul Meza, too. And it's just really good to see these guys start getting the finishes that they want here late on in the season.
And at a key time, don't forget, 2 weeks from now, we got that playoff lucky dog available, so building that momentum while they can, even if they're out of it.
Yeah, so Silverback Tax Solutions, green flag is out, and you can see it. Landon Cardullo gets a really good jump, and then you got Jacob Zala, who's already lost 5-6 positions, stuck here on the outside lane. He's going to come out of turn 2 and almost be out of the top 10. And they're wrecking back here.
Oh, Byer turned around hard in front of the field. There's a big wreck down that backstretch, about 5 trucks involved.
Ooh, Rob Yost just got a piece of Jonathan Byer there.
And as that happens, also just got word that the restart is under review at the same time. So a whole lot going on here. What we can look at first, though, is what happened on this incident that took out a whole lot there of guys that were trying to fight and move up into that top 10. So you got Byer, just that door kind of closed on him as Ben Park started coming up out of that turn, and Byer was starting to close in on Zala, who was off pace, and I think he just knew he couldn't go up much higher and just kind of squeezed in just a little bit too much there on that 66. He had a little bit more room, but not a ton. A little bit more room there he could have had, but the 8 involved, the 6 involved. Is that Raul Meza I think I saw turning around? He got the 9, the 32, 6, 7 trucks all caught up in this late one.
Ay, man, that is not the time to have it. And, yeah, just you're exactly right. Cautions breeding cautions. This race kicked off, and, man, it seemed like we were running through this thing in a hurry, and we were going to have a quick early night, Brandon. Not the case here lately. The 8th caution of the night. So see if we have any takers down pit road. We're only going to probably have 3 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing, and I can't imagine we're going to see many people coming down.
No, and I mean, the only one that's going to be on old tires is the race leader, and you know I ain't giving up that position if I'm sitting there and moving all the way back to the tail end of the lead lap, which is going to be about 24th when this cycle's all through. So, I mean, he's kind of in a position you have to stay out there at this rate. So Landon Cardullo does stay out. We're going to have 5 to go, probably about 3 to go on this restart. By the time we take the green, this is going to be a wild finish here. And see if that's going to be that first green-white checker attempt, or if we're going to have 3 more after it potentially available.
Yeah, so buckle your seatbelts. It's going to get good here with some old tires up front, and he is going to be defending really hard with trying to get that first win of the season. A 3-time winner last season, yet to crack that victory lane bad luck streak, and he's looking to do so tonight. If he can get it done on old tires, I will be a very impressed commentator, and Brandon, I have to imagine you'll feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the thing that could work in his favor is if we keep seeing these restarts and then immediate yellow flags. He's going to be the control truck on these, so if he can keep that nose out in front, cautions keep happening quickly, might just survive by attrition. But if we see more than a lap or 2 go by, I have a hard time seeing that 13 is going to be able to hold him off.
Well, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here on SRN, as those pace car lights just will not go off, Brandon. So we will have our first crack, but I think it'll be a natural green-white checker within the regulation time. But Kansas next week, a track that a lot of guys are looking forward to. And I have to imagine whoever we talk to in the post-race interview will be looking forward to those races as well. Texas Motor Speedway coming up, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Michigan, and Chicago. Chicago kicking off the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know what? This playoff schedule, you're looking at, aside from Michigan, everything right around that 1.5-mile kind of distance. So we're seeing a lot of intermediates, but what that is going to do is it's going to let the drivers sort this out. It's not going to be these unique racetracks. We saw plenty of them about a month ago when we had all the road courses and the flat tracks and Motegi and all those tracks. Now we're going to get to the bread and butter of NASCAR to sort this out over the 7-race playoff. It is going to be wild because those are the tracks that really promote close, tight racing, especially in these trucks.
Well, we've seen how that's paid off here tonight, Brandon, and not so sure I want to see that at this point. These guys are leaning on one another. They are battling here because it's crunch time, 2 weeks to go in the regular season, and it's time to get everything you can, and that's what we're seeing. A lot of Hail Marys thrown by some guys tonight. I mean, Landon's trying to get his first win. Ryan Johnson's already clinched, so he's out here just trying to grab another win. Michael Madden trying to clinch his spot. Blair Hallman also in that boat. Then you got Nick Halda, though, who's looking to make up some ground on that cut line to separate him. And then the 29 sitting here in 5th, Ashawn Jensick. He needs just about every point you can imagine. He's going to make a real effort to try to win this thing right now.
With all the trouble for so many guys, that might be the big winner tonight, to try to make a bit of a Hail Mary, as you said a bit ago, in trying to get to Kansas in position to possibly strike to move into the top 15.
Silverback Tax Solutions, green flag. Back out here in Kansas. 2 laps to go to sort this thing out. Will we finish it? Or will we have another caution? And Michael Madden making almost some contact with the 13, and that's just showing the difference in tires right here as they head down to turn 3.
What I got to say is that was a heck of a restart originally from Landon Cardulo on those old tires. Got a lot of space, but there they go. Those tires were not going to be able to hold off the field as we take the white flag.
Yeah, 1 lap to go. Michael Madden out in front. Ryan Johnson following closely behind. And then Blair Hallman trying to come through with the 48. Who's going to get that final podium spot? They're almost banging doors off of 2, but it is smooth sailing for this 15 out of Rat Pack Racing. Michael Madden gets off turn number 4, sees the checkered flag. It claims his 2nd win of the season.
Saw some heavy wrecking in the back of the pack. Sean Jensick actually crossing the line backwards as he was still rolling in reverse to get across the line. They're still wrecking into 1 at the end of this race as everybody trying to get everything that they could. But one thing that didn't affect was Michael Madden, who was well out in front with a near perfect run from 3rd on that green-white checker.
I do not envy these admins one bit tonight. There is going to be a lot of tempers to cool off here as we head into the last week of this regular season. But the man that's not going to have a temper at all is going to be this one, the 15 of Michael Madden. He gets the dub here.
And he is catching fire at the right time, and it reminds me a lot of what we saw from Brad Herman last season, who got hot right at the end of the regular season, carried that momentum into the playoffs, and wound up walking away with the hardware at the end of it all. And Michael Madden sitting in a very, very similar position.
Yeah, so gets his 2nd win of the season, and he's not done. The way this 15 has been running in that Ford F-150, I can see him maybe topping his season best of 3 wins in his rookie campaign here on SRN, as he's up to 2 in a hurry after a slow start here in season 3. Plenty of time to keep racking them up, and I know he likes the 1.5-mile track, so he is going to be a contender here these next couple of weeks. So burning it down in that sparkle and shine, mobile detailing, durable Ford F-150. Michael Madden, your winner here this evening.
And he's going to be probably the only person that's happy at the end of this race. As we saw a whole lot of temper out there, a whole lot of wrecked race trucks as well. But what we did see is a lot of guys that were already in a solid playoff position kind of backing that up at the end by just surviving all the carnage out there in that Iowa cornfield.
Well, let's go ahead back up to the blimp here and check out the results from tonight's race. Race number 12 of 20 in the books. One more left in the regular season, and it's going to be a good one with some chips on the shoulders. Michael Madden coming away here tonight with the win, about 0.4 of a second over Ryan Johnson. Landon Cardulo comes home in third. Nick Halda, Blair Holloman round out the top 5.
And Blair Holloman, one of the guys that wrecked coming across the line, holding on to that 5th. Lucas Lyons, great recovery there after that late incident, rebounding up to 6th. Kyle Lingerfeld, just doing Kyle Lingerfeld things. Quiet again, but yet another top 10 finish with a 7th place finish there. Ben Park, another solid run in 8th. Jacob Zala recovering up to 9th. And Josh Mueller, all the front end damage that we saw earlier, he rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, so coming home in 11th will be Dean Gagliano, Jason Kratke in 12th, AJ Pritchett 13th, Bobby Anderson in 14th, and Zachary Bergeson is going to come home in 15th.
16th place will be Kevin Asanio. Matthew Johnson in his first truck race here in a little bit will be in position 17. 18th place will be Tyler Markle. Taylor Smith will wind up in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 is Sean Kozier.
Yeah, so that's a look at your top 20 here tonight. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some G-rated interviews after this little bit of a chippy race here tonight. I'm trying to track down Landon Cardulo. Once again, we spoke to him early on in this race when he was leading this thing. Let's go ahead and bring him back up to the booth. Landon Cardulo, Greg Olenek, Brandon Domain once again here tonight, 3rd place. Tell us about this run, man. Seems like a lot of tempers out there at the end of this thing.
Hey, you guys cursed me. I appreciate that. No, I will take this, and I will run, and I will ignore everybody who slides into my DMs, because I feel like I got this win taken away, which was a really, really dumb move that wasn't on my part. Definitely going to show the displeasure with that driver in a private message. But all in all, again, solid truck. Just we weren't going to be in the top 10. I know that for a fact, because I was about 20 miles per hour down on power. But just, why not play the strategy? We're all trying to get into the playoffs here. I'm trying to clinch my way in, so I thought I'd just try something, and it worked.
It absolutely worked, and I was kind of sitting there thinking, we get to those final 2 laps, I'm really curious how those tires are going to hold, and you had a great jump on that restart, kind of built up enough of a gap to be able to hang on to that 3rd position, but what was that like in the process, just trying to hold off that hornet's nest behind you there?
Well, I have a couple changes of shirts near me because I'm sweating, but it's kind of scary when you see somebody who's 20 miles per hour faster than you, plus with newer tires coming right behind you. I felt like I held them up pretty good, but I didn't do it in a dirty way, so that's what I was trying to do. Congratulations to Michael Madden on that one. That was it was a fun race.
Well, Landon, before we let you go and kind of calm down a little bit after a wild night tonight, tell us, you got any friends, any sponsors, any family you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I want to thank my grandparents, everybody who comes in and watches me. I want to thank my team. I would definitely want to thank Jonathan for everything. He's definitely been a big part of this. We've been helping each other out a lot. Also, want to give my condolences to everybody who. The whole tragic thing that happened in Texas yesterday. Definitely an emotional thing to talk about. So, again, yeah, that's all I got.
Absolutely, man. Definitely thoughts and prayers, obviously, with all those families, man. And it just never seems like enough, but definitely appreciate you bringing that up and in the light, because it's definitely something we all need to take a close look at. So, Landon, congrats again on your 3rd place run here tonight. Go ahead and rebound next week when we get to Kansas, man. We'll see you out there.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, that was Landon Cardulo coming home P number 3 here tonight. So let's go see if we can track down Ryan Johnson. There he is, patiently waiting in the broadcast waiting room. As always, Ryan Johnson, Greg Olenek, and Brandon Domain up here in the SRN broadcast booth. P number 2 tonight. Seemed like you had the truck to win it all. And how's it feel to come up that close to coming away with your 4th win of the season?
Yeah, we felt like the truck to beat. It's kind of gone like a couple other races have gone where something happens where we're just we just can't get back there. I know I've said it a bunch of times. I keep wishing these races would go green because, man, the leads that we could get, tires save well. I don't know, man. It's just upsetting. And then even at the end there, in the middle of the race, I don't know what happened with Blair, or if it was the whole line behind me. I got hit, and we had like 40 seconds of damage from that, so it just killed us on the short run. And I thought we had no chance. I'm glad we bounced back for a top 3. I'm so upset. Like, this is my favorite track.
It's still at the end of the day, position 2 finish, and also the other guys that were in the running there with you for possibly taking that regular season title with rough finishes as well. So it looks like pretty close to locking that up. Just going to need a decent finish there next week at Kansas. So what's the mindset going to Kansas there? As you got a couple teammates still in the running to try to solidify some playoff spots there, regular season title available with the bonus points and everything that can go into that, all the momentum, but there's no real threat of falling out, obviously, as you clinch the spot. So that's kind of a weird spot to be in there next week, it feels like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, same thing that we've done all season. Just, practice, as much as we have. Try to keep a cool head. Try to stay out of trouble, which is becoming very difficult lately. It feels. But yeah, we're doing good. One more, and then the playoffs, and just week by week. That's pretty much all I got. Just practice. Take it week by week and do the best we can.
Well, before we let you go, Ryan, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, everybody at SRN putting this on, all the admins, sponsors, you guys for broadcasting, my team owner for JW Racing, Justin Rideout, Rogue Energy, use code JW Racing to get 20% off. Maxon Industries Incorporated, Marin Mechanical, Rufus Sport MMA, Saloon Door Sports, everybody tuning in and cheering us on. And looking forward to seeing you guys soon, and hopefully we can clinch that regular season championship.
All right, man. Well, we will see you out at Kansas next week to wrap up that regular season. We'll see if you can clinch it, like you said, man. So get the spirits up, get out practicing again, and go ahead, get digging out in Kansas. We'll see you then.
Yeah, just got to shake it off. Thanks, guys.
There you go. All right, that was Ryan Johnson coming home a kind of a dejected second. He wanted it bad here at Iowa, one of his favorite tracks out here. So let's go ahead, bring up the winner, Michael Madden, here tonight. Michael, it's Greg Olenek, Brandon Domain. Congratulations on a wild race. Get your second win of the season, 5th overall here in SRN. How's it feel after a wild one out here in Newton?
Oh, man, are you guys kidding me? Like, I'm stoked. I didn't even think I had a top 5 truck tonight, to be honest with you boys. I haven't practiced much, and I just I'm not good here. I had no idea what I was doing the whole race, to be honest with you, with lines changing and just the way of the flow of the race. And I just kept charging to the front. I had a garbage qualifying effort, started mid-pack, and just tried to keep the truck clean. And wow, what a way to unfold at the end, huh?
Absolutely, and that was pretty textbook racing against somebody on those older tires out there on that final restart and making that pass. But we were talking before about if we were going to be able to get G-rated interviews after this race with everything that we saw out there, all the carnage, all the tempers that we saw, and I was like, well, we know at least one that we'll get a good interview out of that'll be G-rated. What was that like, seeing everything happening out there on that racetrack out tonight, and all the wrecks, all the anger that we saw from people, and you just kind of skirted your way by all that?
Yeah, usually the way this season works is I ended up in a wreck all the time, so it's nice to see some momentum go my way, Brandon. It's nice to see some positive flow, and I just tried to keep the positive juju going. I knew tires were key, and if those guys, I used my stuff up, Johnson kind of ran me down there, and that caution was the godsend for me. And just being able to take the 4 tires, even though there's like 3 to 5 laps to go on the restart, I just knew if I could pin it on the bottom, and those guys definitely on older stuff just couldn't hold the bottom. So I just pinned it to the bottom, and I just kept it going. Luckily, I cleared Cardulo, and then kind of the rest was history there. it's amazing the amount of carnage that was tonight. But hey, it's nice to get one.
Well, recently engaged, am I right?
Yes, sir. I am. And it's been
kind of a good couple of
whirlwind
weeks
of a
for
month.
you here.
Yeah, man. It's been a whirlwind of a month. You know, I've been traveling a lot for work, so I haven't been on the sim a lot. But it's nice to get one. I did not expect this tonight.
Well, tell me what the strategy is as we start to head towards. I mean, we got 1 week left in the regular season. How's the mindset change once you get to playoff time? And I mean, you gotten so close to coming away with the championship before. What are you going to do different this year to kind of set yourself up at a possible title?
Just try to keep the patience and not make bonehead mistakes. You know, you speed on pit road, do something stupid to damage your car. Just gotta let the race come to you. I was talking to the crew, to the guys on the Discord, just saying, hey, let's just let this restart happen. Let's see what happens. And that's kind of my mentality going forward into the playoffs. You know, a lot of people are gonna try to push, but you just gotta be there at the end and capitalize on opportunities that come your way. It's not about winning every single race. And it's hard to do. It's hard enough to do for me. And I try to win every single race, but that hasn't worked in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, knowing you, that's quite the difference in mindset, and it could pay off for you, man, knowing that you're going to be a little more patient out there and just working your way out. And 140 laps to do so that tonight, and you get it at the end and come away with your second win. So congrats on that once again. Before we let you go, though, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout-out to?
Always want to thank the everybody at Rat Pack Discord and everybody helping me out. You know, we set up these practices every week and just accommodating my schedule. I appreciate you, buddy. I know you had a crappy run tonight, but I thank you for helping me. Sparkle and Shine and all those guys and Urable. Just their partnership is. I'm so thankful for it. Hey, and just so you guys know, I know there's a draft coming up, and you both are captains. So now that I won a couple races and I got the bad juju out, Brandon, I know you said something earlier. Let me bounce up your rankings a little bit. I'd appreciate it.
Definitely noted. But we saw that. We didn't need to be told. We definitely have seen that run is back, and you've been out there in front for the last 5. And I just said a little bit ago, kind of resembling what we saw from a championship run a year ago from Brad Herman, just catching that fire late in the regular season. So definitely see some good positive momentum there for you.
Thank you, boys. Yeah, it's definitely a nice breath of fresh air.
All right, man. Well, we'll see you next week at Kansas and see if you can go back-to-back and maybe tie your season win record here with 3 this season. So congrats once again, and enjoy celebrating, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, boys. Have a good night.
All right, so that was Michael Madden there coming home with the win here after a wild one in Iowa. We didn't expect that after the race we had last night. And it kind of kicked off to a good start here tonight and kind of ended a little bit wild.
Yeah, remember at lap 65, we were just saying, hey, that's only our second caution of the night, and man, did they pile on after that one when we got to the second half of this race, and everybody just kind of cranked up that intensity, and I think the only clean truck that we really saw out there, even though a couple scuffs around that thing, was the 15, as Michael Madden parks that thing in victory lane for the second time in the last month.
Absolutely. So gonna head back here tomorrow night, same time in the Xfinity Series race. Brandon, you're gonna get out there to try and make a late run at making your spot in the top 15 for the playoffs. How's it feeling in these Xfinity cars?
Well, being just short last season, being just outside again this season, the one thing I can say is, at least compared to everybody else, I'm used to this feeling. I know what it feels like, so a little bit less pressure out there on that side. But, yeah, definitely in a tough spot, a track like Iowa. I mean, we saw that clean race last night. We saw this race tonight. I don't even know what to be thinking as we get those Xfinity cars out there for the first time to the Midwest.
Speaking of cars and not knowing what to think, let's take another look at the All-Star reveal here tonight for the 4th combination of cars and tracks before we head off air. It's Legends at South Boston, and this one is going to be a good one if it's picked.
Absolutely, and those cars just naturally so loose, so little downforce on them. They don't kick up a ton of speed, but it's enough to really get those things sliding. 4/10 of a mile track out there with South Boston. That's just a whole lot of fun. Pretty flat track, and I got to say, that was some good-looking colors there on that Legends car out there, if I can say so myself, since we've been talking football all night.
Well, definitely check out the draft show. We'll figure out what track and car we're running. You heard Michael talking about it here, hopefully moving up our draft boards a little bit, and I think he's already solidly up there far enough already as he comes away with the second win here on the season. So that's going to do it for all of us here at SRN for night number 2 at Iowa Speedway. Like I said, come on back tomorrow. Hit that like button down there. Hit that subscribe button down there as well. And hit that little bell so you know any time that we go live. So for everybody behind the scenes, myself and Brandon Domain, we wish you all a good night and go faster.